Welcome to the Jim Show with your host, Jim. Yesterday I talked about the power of living with no expectations as you move through your life and you follow your heart. Something I realized as I looked a little bit more into this and got some feedback on it is that what I'm really doing is basically following Bentinho Massaro's 10 Ways to Live as a Powerful Creator, Super Accelerated Living. So what I want to do today is walk through the 10 steps that he has as part of that system, and we can see how those fall into this no expectations idea. So the first one is be aware of your vibration and choose it, right? This is something I talked about a lot, is managing your vibration, and that's probably the number one thing that you can do to determine what your life is going to be like. And so as you try to manifest your life, a lot of that has to do with what your vibration is, right? If you're putting out negative stuff, you're going to get more negative stuff. If you're putting out positive stuff and maintaining a high vibration, you're going to get what you want. And so when you're following your heart, right, you're in a good vibrational place when you're doing that. And it's easy to hear your heart when you're in that place. So I think that lines up pretty obviously. It's a lot easier to hear your heart if you're in a good vibrational place and have a high frequency. The second one is keep planting new seeds constantly. And this was my main takeaway from the Super Accelerated Living video. The first time I watched it was this idea of planting seeds, of being the gardener. And I didn't get the no expectations thing that time when I saw it the first time. So again, what always be planting seeds is all about is always be thinking about the future and what you want to occur and putting those seeds out there. So again, it's the frequency thing, right? You're managing your frequency and you're thinking about what you want the world to be like, or you want your life to be like. So that's the seeds that you're constantly planting, the new things that you want to do. And so these should be, again, heartfelt things that you want to happen. You're following your heart and you're putting out seeds there. And then the next one is don't monitor the germination process. And this kind of starts falling into the no expectations thing. So you're planting out the seeds, but you're not stopping and watching them grow. You're not waiting for something to happen, right? You're just going on to planting the next seed, the next great thought, following the next exciting thing. You're always in the future thought process, thinking about what you want to happen, and you're not sitting there waiting and having an expectation about what's going to occur. So the next one is care more about how you feel than how it manifests, right? And so this is pretty much exactly saying have no expectations about the thing, whatever the thing is, right? So we're not caring about how it manifests, because it's going to manifest in some way, right? And if we have an expectation about a specific way we want to manifest it, then we're all worried about that and wrapped up, is this manifesting how I wanted it to? And so what he's saying is care more about how you feel, so your heart and what your heart is telling you, than what actually happens or the expectations you might have had. So that one's pretty much exactly the do not have expectations about what you're putting out there. The next one is constantly be in the future present state. So this is where I think people can get confused. When I talk about this idea of no expectations, I'm not saying just to stay in the present moment all the time and be focused there, like looking for what's going to happen immediately in front of me. But you want to be in that state. The future presence is what Bentinho calls it. Basically, that's the state of being the gardener, right? You are looking into the future and thinking about what you want and planting the seeds. That is the state, is being the gardener and planting the seeds. And you want to be there all the time. So the next one is trust your higher self. Let go of how and when things should manifest. Again, no expectations. You're listening to your higher self, you're listening to your heart, and you're not worried about how and when they manifest. Again, pretty much verbatim, no expectations. That's what I read in that one. So we're getting this no expectation thing over and over again in kind of different ways of looking at it. And the seventh one is focus on what works and has worked in the past. What I think he is saying here is when you notice that your frequency or the way you've been managing your frequency has been effective, keep doing more of that, right? If following your heart has worked out for you, keep doing more of it. If following your excitement has worked for you, keep doing more of it. And focus on that, because why wouldn't you, right? And stop doing the things that don't work. It's just like the light and heavy thing too, also. Why keep doing things that are heavy and bring you down when you can do the light things that accelerate your life, right? Keep doing what's working for you and stop doing the stuff that isn't. Something we hear all the time. The definition of insanity is continuing to do the same thing and expecting different results. So focus on what actually works and do more of that. The eighth one is be all in. This is a high stakes game. So obviously, your frequency management is going to be better if you're dedicated to actually doing it. If you catch yourself when you're having negative thoughts, when you're complaining, any kind of situation where you're not managing your frequency, if you catch yourself, if you're totally focused and all in on this, it's obviously going to work better. I think that goes back into focus on what works, and that is continuously managing your frequency. Totally devoting yourself to this idea and these steps, obviously you're going to get better results. The ninth one is ask what is most important to you every day upon waking up. And then imagine that thing. Imagine that you already have it in your life. Imagine that it's in the past. There's a couple of different ways you can approach that, right? A powerful one is to imagine that it already occurred. So if you've been reading my recent blog articles about how I lost all this cryptocurrency money, like $1.9 million worth, one way I approach that is to imagine that I've already been a millionaire. I've already done it. It's already happened. It's in the past, right? So that puts me in an entirely different place, obviously. And you could objectively say that, oh, Jim, you never had that money, so you never, right? Objectively, you could say it didn't happen. I wouldn't disagree with you if you were to say that. That's a legitimate argument to make. But subjectively, I'm going to say I've already done it. I've already been a millionaire. I got close enough. So I put that in the past, which makes doing that again that much easier. Like, objectively, that should make it easier, right? If you've done it before, you can do it again. And again, subjectively, it's a powerful practice to whatever you want, even if you didn't get close to it or can't even conceive of it, put it in your past anyway. Because then you're going to manifest the things that have to do with you having already accomplished that thing, already being that thing. You're already the thing that results in the things you want. That's how you get them. You have to be the thing that you want to be now and not wait to get the things that you think you need to be the thing. If that makes any sense. And the last one is always feel good and confident, because again, that is managing your frequency. So if you're doing that all the time, if you're always feeling good, always feeling confident, always following your heart, always following your excitement, you're going to get the things that you want. So those are his 10 ways to live as a powerful creator. I think that they basically are the same concept as follow your heart without any expectations, with the added piece there of make sure you're planting seeds for the future while you're doing that. Don't just stay in the present moment, but plant the seeds for the future also with your thoughts, right? So we're talking about here is focusing on what I want to occur so that I can put out the frequency of what I want to happen and bring into my life so I can manifest the things that I want. So that is Bentinho Massaro's 10 steps, and I think they relate to yesterday, and I would say watch that video if you haven't. It's the first hour is really where he walks through each of these and gives his added thoughts on each step. And the second half is a question and answer, which is also really useful. So I recommend that. I recommend having no expectations, follow your heart, and your life is going to change. It's so easy, right? It's just 10 steps. Anybody can do it. See you tomorrow.